Hey everyone, so welcome into the first ever episode of Bourbon and Bullshit. I'm your host Arthur. I'm joined today by Kevin and David, two of my biggest supporters. For all of you who have been wondering when this show is going to finally come out, well, here we are. So for anyone who the first time has never heard of Bourbon and Bullshit or this project, this is a show about a bunch of friends just sitting around a table, enjoying a bottle, talking a little bit about it, but ultimately just fucking around and having a good time. If you are listening and wondering, oh my God, they have no idea what they're talking about when we talk about these bourbons, you're 100% right. We are here to enjoy this, have fun, and be part of that adventure. I do welcome feedback. I do welcome some insight on bottles that I don't know, because honestly, I don't look into them that much. I just drink it and enjoy it, but I welcome it. So if you have any questions or you want to give me some feedback, put in the comments. I'm only listening to 5-star reviews, so if you really want your comment to be brought up, 5-star it, and I got you. But for the very first episode, let me introduce first Kevin. Welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Pretty good. Pleasure to be here.
Good, man. So, do you have any preferences? Normally, typically, what you drink for bourbons or whiskeys?
No preferences. I'm interested in exploring the whole world of them. So,
nice. Yeah, you got to be a little open-minded. Next to me, last but not least, is Gata. Dave.
Wow. Did we just start with my gamer tag?
Oh, you just got to fuck with you. Well, you didn't have to bring up it was your gamer tag. No one was going to look it up. Now you're going to get like a whole 7 requests from the first episode.
I'm going to start an OnlyFans for my requests.
Dave, welcome in, man. Thanks for being a part of this initial episode and being here for us today.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here, man. Like, I know you were mentioning that you don't have a lot of experience with whiskey. I have even less than you. Like, my idea of a good whiskey is a Jack and Coke, so definitely going to have to expand my palate here and try some new stuff. Looking forward to it, though.
God damn it, the Coke part.
What's wrong with Jack and Coke?
There's nothing wrong with it, man. It's just, something I guess like takes away from the flavor of stuff. I guess everything tastes the same if you put enough Coca-Cola on it.
Yeah.
Not to sidebar too much, but do you guys remember or realize that like Mountain Dew was originally made to be mixed with like whiskey?
I didn't know that.
I did that last week. I forgot to tell you about this.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Whiskey.
It was made for whiskey?
Yeah.
Initially,
I did not know that.
Initially, it was made to be a mixer for whiskey.
Wow.
And it was made to kind of like dampen the taste of like really harsh whiskeys. And it was supposed to taste really good together. Yeah. And they realized motherfuckers love the sugar and love the taste on its own and just sold it as is. It's a weird fucking thing. But how was it for real?
It was honestly pretty good. So my one of my buddies was in town, a high school friend of mine. He came into town. We went to the store to grab some beer, and I remember to have whiskey in the cabinet. So I was like, hey, I was talking to Arthur about this a couple weeks ago. Apparently this was supposed to be a mixer for whiskey. And we both were like holding our noses going into this drink. And it was fantastic. I mean, now, it's not like a handcrafted, perfectly made cocktail, but you're getting a soda with a liquor. Like, it's as good as that's going to get. And it mixed pretty well.
Do you like sweet drinks typically, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm not usually drinks like that by itself are too sweet for me, so I'm curious if it will hold up as a mixer for me.
I mean, Mountain Dew's like $2.
It's
not a big opportunity risk.
It's not like, is it a break the bank to try it out? It's like,
It's not the $2. It's the good whiskey you're wasting.
That is true. I will agree with that. But once again, if you guys are going to be listening and judging us at our whiskey taste, 5-star reviews, the only way you're getting my attention. Listen, so today, for what we're planning on doing is going through 4 bottles, just a pour each, just trying some stuff out. Right now, we are still wrapping up our old fashions. But on today's agenda will be the Masters Collection for Woodford Reserve 5 Malt Stouted Mash, Weller's Antique 107, and Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. And last but not least is going to be the Bombergers, which I've never heard of until recently. I had no idea what the hell it was. My girlfriend put me onto it. She says it is from the same distillery that makes Michter's, which is a whiskey I really enjoy. And I could not tell you what the flavor notes are other than sometimes like earthy and oaky and stuff like that. So we're going to have fun pissing off a lot of the whiskey enthusiasts. Sorry, guys. But so today we're going to start with Woodford, and as you guys join us through this, we're going to let you know what pour we're at, and we're going to kind of just talk around the room, share some stories, and you'll be able to track and monitor where we are. But guys, enjoy, tune in, and pour some up with us. Thanks. All right, guys, so today we are pouring first, and it's going to be our Woodford Reserve. So I did look up some facts because I know some of you tuned in and wanted, they're going to talk about the whiskeys and stuff. So here, just for you guys, 10 things you should know about Woodford Reserve. I'm not going to give you all 10 because I don't got that kind of time. So Woodford Reserve, did you know Woodford Reserve in 1994 became the official sponsor of the Kentucky Derby? For those who do not know what the Kentucky Derby is, everyone gets big-ass hats, bright shirts, and watches horses run in a circle. But it's a pretty big deal. It's we talk about, what is it, Flapper Day, or what's it called? Hold on. There is a whole fucking thing. There's a whole phenomenon about the Kentucky Derby and getting all dapper and dressing up. Have you guys gone to one of those events or like parties here? Because they even do them themed during the year.
I don't know if they'd be called flapper. I was pretty sure flappers are like in the 50s where they did the
poodle
50 skirts and shit.
Did you say poodle skirts?
I think so. I could be wrong. I'm not the expert on flappers.
Oh, yeah. Well. Kev, have you gone to any of the
poodle skirts?
Exactly.
Poodle skirts.
That's my area of expertise.
He was not an expert at anything else about it, but either way, it became one of the biggest, the sole sponsors for the event. Pretty big deal, but one of their major drinks is the mint julep, and not my favorite drink. Have you guys had it?
Yeah, they're not.
What's the liquor base of a mint julep?
It's bourbon.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's bourbon. The mint julep is one of the most simple fucking drinks, and people love it. You'll see it. It's like usually in a metal tin. It's crushed ice, like mint, lemon juice, and just bourbon. Let me actually look it up just for you and anyone who wants to learn how to make a mint julep for some stupid reason. Yeah, it's 8 mint leaves, simple syrup, bourbon, mint, bitters, not even lemon juice.
Interesting.
It is fucking disgusting.
It doesn't sound good.
It's gross. It's not for me. So I'm going to piss off a lot of people. I'm realizing as I'm saying these things. But we talked about this a little earlier, but do you know what's the most expensive mint julep to date that Woodford Reserve makes?
Today, is it at the Kentucky Derby specifically? Or
No.
just like the most expensive mint julep?
The most expensive mint julep that they make is $1,000.
For a full bottle?
Yes. No, it's a full drink.
For one glass.
So each year at the Derby...
Sounds Kentucky Derby-esque.
Yes. Each year at the Derby, Woodford Reserve provides a limited number of luxury mint julep cups. This year, 125 racegoers enjoyed their juleps from $1,000 solid silver vessels that they got to keep. For those who wanted to raise the stakes, 20 gold-plated cups were all available with a silver sipping straw for $2,500. It was more about the vessel than anything else.
The absolute peak of waste.
It wasn't... They didn't give you higher end bourbon. They gave you a fancier cup. You got to keep it.
Yeah.
Feels a bit pompous.
Yeah.
It's definitely for the person that wants to say, I spent this amount of money on this thing.
Look, I'm all about spending money on experiences and doing the things that you want to do, right?
But not getting fleeced by a conman.
Yeah. If you're selling me $1,000 cup, it better take years off my face. It better do something. I better be able to pour water into it and it turns it right into wine. I don't want those problems. I don't want to look at my credit card statement and go, what the fuck did drunk me do?
Right?
Because I end up thinking, like, I know, like, in that moment, you're like, oh, I've been having fun, adrenaline's up, you probably won some money in a horse, so you're really going to spend $2,500. Because don't forget the $2,500 version of this same drink.
That's insane. What do you tip on a drink like that? If you bought this drink, right? Are you tipping somebody $250 for pouring it for you?
I
don't know.
I feel like you have to.
Because you've already done the flex, right? You already said I'm Captain Cool. I can spend $1,000 on a drink.
I feel like you have to. All right, we're gonna.
Well, you have to, but how much?
I don't.
I think $100. I think you drop $100 on the tip.
I think they would look at you like you're crazy if you give them $250. Even that, I don't know. I think you could give them $100. If you spent that much, you might as well throw $100 at the waitress that served you. No, I can't. I can't even say that out loud. I can't. I'm not.
I don't know how these people live. I don't know.
I don't know. It's a whole different life.
Does their assistant pay them? I don't know.
I don't know. But
I have my people talk to yours about your tip.
so Woodford Reserve. One more fact before we drink up.
Do those people even deal with the help?
I don't know who they talk to. Like that help.
With the help.
The help. You know that's if you're paying $2,500 for a drink, you know you call them the help.
You probably call them a lot worse than that, but the help is the nice correct thing to call them.
No, that's where I'm going to spend my time. You know, those guys are cool. Like,
Yeah.
They're back there behind
Yeah.
the bar drinking the good stuff.
Yeah, the bartenders are cool as shit. The waitresses, that's who I'm going to hang out with.
Yeah,
I don't want to
100%.
talk to the people spending $2,500. I want to speak to the person who handed you the $2,500 drink. You tipped them over $100 to hand you the same drink.
Can you imagine how boring those people have to be to find excitement out of spending $1,000 on a drink?
I'm gonna.
That's your excitement level.
I want to go for the rest of the facts, but that's a good point. I think there's a certain level of you are so rich that you just start wasting money on trivial shit. Like, wasn't there an article I think you might have talked to me about where like Jeff Bezos, what he spends to equate to what we spend like $100 on is like a couple $100,000. I think we had that conversation one stream. It was either me, you, or Shin.
I can't recall. I don't think it was me.
But it was a crazy amount because when he's so rich, for him to spend at the rate that an average person's income would be, he would have to spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars to equate our $100 or something crazy. He has that much money that in order for him to run out at the same time that we would run out of our income, he's just like, here's a Maserati, here's some stupid
He'd
shit.
have to spend exorbitant amounts of money. He'd have to spend millions.
Yeah, maybe I'm different, but I don't spend like in terms of this is how much I have, discretionary to throw around. I think of like, am I an asshole for spending this much money on this stupid thing or
All the time. Oh, no, I was answering about if you're an asshole.
yeah, sorry, yeah. I got that.
Do you not feel, so you don't, so you're like me, you're a little bit more cautious of what you spend on. Like, it feels almost, what is it?
Well, I
Ca-
consider
cautious
it's called
is a
the
strong
opportunity cost, right? It's what
Yeah.
by spending this money, what are you potentially robbing yourself of in the future that you could have spent that money on instead?
Yeah, and are you doing it for the right reason? Like if you're there because you need to fit in, like if you have that much money and you're trying to spend it to fill a hole of I need to fit in or I need to look cool, I need to rub elbows with these type of people, like that's the wrong reason. You need to work on other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could not. I think if it's worth it, hey, I'm going to go to fucking a castle in Ireland for the first time in my life.
I'm buying a castle in Ireland.
Yeah, you know what? 100%. If I could buy a castle in Ireland or just spend a bunch of money on mint juleps that are overpriced, I'm buying the fucking castle.
I bet the Wi-Fi coverage in a castle is terrible.
I feel like if I have enough money to buy a castle, I'm working that out. I'm getting fiber. I'm getting fiber.
You got a castle for $30,000.
You see? But does it have Wi-Fi?
It needs a little work.
Yeah, there you go.
It's kind of on an island surrounded by water all around.
That is entirely you, isn't it?
Is it
Yeah,
one? Is it one tower and that's it for 30 grand?
no, I mean it's a little dilapidated. It's got some walls crumbling, some towers, but
Yeah.
Just throw some rocks in it. It'll be fine.
No, you want to not throw rocks in it. Like, not at the condition it's in.
Poke some rocks in the holes.
Oh.
It looks the same.
But last fact, just for now that we've spent some time talking about overspending on shit. In May 2018, Woodford Reserve launched a limited edition bottling available exclusively at their worldwide duty-free stores. For 1 year period, the $1,500 Woodford Reserve Baccarat edition bottle. It also became a crystal descanter. It's a gorgeous bottle, but the bottles cost $1,500 retail if you could find it. It's partnered with the brand with the French crystal manufacturer to release custom decanters filled with bourbon that had aged for 3 years in an XO cognac cask. At least it's a nice decanter you could use later.
you got that going.
Yeah, you got the decanter for you, which is nice.
But so secondary on that is probably upwards of $10,000. That's crazy.
That's a little outside of shit I want.
Which, look, if I had it like that, don't blame you. Want to fucking try it? Don't do it. But I'd rather have the castle still. So for anyone who is no longer tuning in because we're not spending money on that, welcome to everyone else in our price range.
We got rid of the people who shouldn't have been here to begin with.
Yeah.
We are not going to relate to you at all.
I know what's fun about all this is we're not even in our first pour, so we're going to look forward to this Woodford 5 malt stouted mash. It is from Series 17, 90 proof, real nice, easy going. So, cheers, guys.
Salud,
Cheers, gentlemen.
We're going to see at the end how everyone feels about it.
All right. Give it a good sniff.
Don't drink right into the... Ooh. Oh. What is that? Oh, my... What is that aftertaste?
A little bit of...
It's like malt. It's like malt. It's just like... I know it says malt, 5 malt stouted.
Yeah.
It tastes like a stout. Was this what I was supposed to be tasting? We should have up and read the little book in here. Oh, that's unique. That is weird. What do you guys think?
There's definitely some bitterness to it. I like it.
Yeah. some spice.
Yeah.
And because, once again, I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking or saying, malty with a toasted hazelnut cocoa highlights.
Yeah, I'm not getting any of it.
Atop, I feel like it's tasting like chocolate.
Did
It
you
tastes
really?
like malted
I'm
chocolate.
not getting any piece of that.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like what's it called? The Whoppers? Whoppers? Whoopers? Whoopers.
do have
Not
that-
candy. What is that malted ball
Talk
candy?
to Woodford Reserve Marketing. Hey,
No, those are
put
mall-
Whoppers
mall
in your
balls?
description.
No, yeah, put Whoppers in your description. People will understand it better. This actually, it tastes like chocolate to me.
I'm getting that sensation of spice on my tongue.
Oh my God. Look, man, I know that people aren't necessarily all the way in this, but if you find this bottle or if you just want to come by, look, to all 7 people listening, we could pour some, but it tastes, I kind of get it. This is the aroma, dusky notes.
I'm getting a little bit now. I'm getting a little bit of the chocolate.
Yeah, this is dusky
I'm
notes
just gonna
of
think
roasted,
of chocolate as I have my next sip. here.
Placebo effect, man. Get it working.
Let's get it here.
roasted malt, toasted
Hershey's.
nuts, stop, all sweetened with hints of milk chocolate and brightened with a touch of orange. I like this. It tastes like a little bit of candy to me. I'm weird.
I still don't get chocolate.
Really?
I really, really don't.
I taste like malted like Whoopers. I said
Whoopers.
Whoopers because I said Whoppers and I was like, that's not the food. That's not what I'm thinking. That's food from Burger King.
I'm just getting a lot more
No, I
spice.
think they're
than
called
anything.
Whoppers.
It is Whoppers?
Yeah.
Oh, hashtag not a sponsor. Sorry. Hershey's. If you want to call me, I'll compare all your shit to chocolate. Okay.
I did just chant Hershey's into the microphone like a minute ago.
Hershey's.
So they're really doing well.
I like this. This is weird. This is not something I've tasted before, and I'm a pretty.
Tasted a lot of stuff.
I've tasted a lot. Phrasing. I've partaken of my beverage or two, but I don't know, man. I like this. At first, it was weird because it just threw me off because we just had that old fashioned. Oh no. Mm. I'm gonna keep a little.
I'm getting spice more than anything else. I really wish I was getting some of those chocolate notes because that sounds nice.
That's good. But
Yeah, get it on the tip. That's where you get the sweetness.
phrasing again.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
All right, let me just.
All right, guys. This is gonna be a rough ride with these two. But
Wow.
You need for
Phrasing.
your listeners to pull up a visual of the tongue where you taste different flavors from.
I get that, but I really don't want to do that in front of David. I feel like nothing I say is going to be clean in front of David.
Wow. Is that the reputation I have?
Yes,
The dirty one?
yes.
Because I'm funny?
That's
That tends to be the vibe when we're together.
Fine.
yeah. You are
I'll
the.
accept it.
Like even vibe sounded dirty there.
The vibe.
I mean, for people who know us,
Rigor.
you are rigor. You are the person who we tend to like. Yeah, dude bros. That's where we get the dude bros thing.
Yep. All your fault.
All your fault.
I'm sorry. As I'm wearing a backwards baseball cap and
All right,
college
so
shirts and stuff.
So to give context of why it tastes the kind of unique, it's in Kentucky. A fermented grain mash is traditionally called distiller's beer. Distillation converts this into beer into a spirit, which is then called whiskey and barrel, blah, blah. But this is kind of more focused on the stout style of beer. Master's Collection is our take on crafting a spirit that exhibits the flavors of a classic beer style in the rich roasted malty stout. So it's supposed to give you that thick, almost Guinnessy type of beer taste.
Taste that.
Yeah, so that's weird. That's unique. Look,
It's interesting. Maybe this is just a palate issue for me because I do not get the chocolate.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when I smell it, I smell a lot of notes of chocolate.
yeah, I'm not mad at this, man. I'm not mad.
To reiterate, I'm by no means an expert, but people tend to drink a certain way, like the way you throw back the liquid in
Yeah.
your mouth. But there are parts of your tongue, and there is like a way you're supposed to drink it in which it hits all parts of your tongue and you get all the flavors.
Okay, I want to try to wash the whiskey across the full cleft of my tongue.
Why? Even when he says that, he
There's that
sounds.
vibe again.
Yeah, that's that
I'm
vibe.
gonna-
You're giving real creeper
I'm gonna enjoy
vibes.
this very nice moist shot of.
Moist shot. That's all alcohol is. It's moist. Well, you can get ice cream now. Oh my god, he's really doing a lot. Soon, guys, when we get this full studio, you'll be able to see visuals of this. But I promise you, this is not something you want to see on the interwebs.
I charge $2.99 a month for that.
Oh God, how is it now that you've coated your tongue a little bit more thoroughly?
My whole tongue is now spicy, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I
There's-
did honestly. The real
They make medication for that.
Well, I hope I have some. I did get more of the sweet notes that you mentioned. Maybe it was how I was drinking. It's actually weird for me. I got the sweet notes along the sides of my tongue when I did the taste.
Gotcha.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's
All right.
weird.
That's not weird at all.
Okay. But yeah, it was. I like this drink. I didn't catch all the notes you guys did, but
Not a problem.
My
Man.
simple Georgia upbringing.
Georgia. What do they drink in Georgia, man?
Cold beer.
Just cold beer.
Cold beer. It's one word. Cold beer.
Dude, one more time?
Cold beer.
That sounds like you said Colbert.
Yeah, go get me a cold beer.
Oh,
Go get me a cold beer, please.
Okay. Kevin, what do they think of drink in Pennsylvania?
All sorts of beer.
It's just beer.
Cold, hot, medium.
Hot beer? Who drinks? You know,
He said
what
all kinds of beer. That's all.
all kinds of beer.
I don't think anyone really drinks warm beer.
There's nothing specific to alcohol that PA drinks specifically. A lot of because I know what they drink.
It feels like every few years I go up there's like a new flavor of the month. So last time it was Yingling. That
I was
was
about to say Yingling's pretty big in those parts.
Yeah, I was about to say I felt like there's a fucking eagle on there and
oldest
everything.
brewery,
You guys are pretty diehard about the Eagles in America over there. So.
pretty much. Yeah, yeah. For
you
the
an
longest
Eagles
time,
guy?
I didn't know that the Yingling. So there's a plant in Pennsylvania and there's a plant in Tampa, Florida. And I did not know that's why we got it in Florida. So like, there were times where, like I traveled to Ohio and I ordered a Yingling, and they were like, "A what?" And I'm like, "A Yingling." They had no idea what it was. I'm like, it's literally a 40-minute drive from here. Like, how do you guys not know what this is?
God,
But that's when I found out that it's there's those two main plants, I guess.
So they don't distribute across the entire U.S. yet, or because I know they're
It's
bought
been a
by,
while
like,
since I
larger
looked,
distributors.
but yeah, at the time, that's apparently they didn't serve it in Ohio.
I did meet someone a couple months ago. We were talking about beer. I know this is a bourbon podcast.
Yeah.
This was at my old job.
To be fair, part of the reason why we're talking about beer is because of how they just discussed in here that this specific type of Woodford Reserve is made to kind of give you kind of the memory or the kind of hint of a beer style, which is a stout. So it's fair.
Okay.
So
All
yeah.
right. Well, this
So
is
it's
just
topical.
an incidental story.
Mm-hmm.
So I was working in at my old job, and I was with a patient there, and her last name was Leinenkugel.
Like the Sandy?
Yes.
Nice.
So I saw this name, and I was like, "This would sound really weird, but you have the last name of one of my favorite beers." She's like, "Oh, thank you. My family makes that beer."
So she's an heiress.
Yeah, she's an heiress to the Leinenkugel's throne.
Nice.
I was like, "I'm gonna go get some summer shandy."
Yeah, summer
today,
shandy is the beer of summer.
just for you.
That's actually really crazy, man.
Yeah.
I would have left my wife. I mean, nothing.
This was not a young lady.
Oh, even better.
Even
I'll be
great.
back. Just be patient. I'll be back. I'll be back.
Give me 5 to 10. I'm gonna come back to you a whole lot better off.
This is for us, baby. This is for us.
Yeah.
And where I'm from New York City originally. Just to give you guys some context, we don't really drink. I mean, Coronas and Heinekens because I'm Hispanic as hell, but we drink the Nutcracker, which is mainly our drink. Like honestly,
The bodega.
yeah, man.
Not bodegas, barbershops,
Bodegas, barbershops,
Cooler on the corner.
bro. We're gonna
Polish butchers.
We're
like weird.
okay.
The places we went in to get these drinks.
He was really nice to you, and I don't know why you. Like,
He made me go outside because he wouldn't sell to
the
me.
Asian lady made you go outside.
They did too.
Yeah. Shit, you're right. Everyone, we're gonna get there. All right. So there's gonna be a lot of
That's the
stories
story.
coming up. There'll be some stories. So for anyone, obviously this first episode. So one of the things we're trying to do here, just kind of get to know each other a little bit better and get you guys to know us a lot better, and see how these drinks will impact those stories. So we're gonna go ahead and start with Gata. You have a we kind of prepared you for some questions. Sorry, mid sip.
Yeah, that was rude.
So first one is called That's Bullshit. So we're going to talk about some crazy ongoings and random facts and situations that Gata's going to go ahead and pick. I don't want to talk about this
I
topic.
don't even know if I should lead off.
You should lead off with the topic because that's what you want to talk about. And as you do that, we'll look up some other stuff and mention some other things. So That's Bullshit is where we share an absurd story either uniquely to us or current events that we want to discuss around the table.
Okay.
So,
I feel like
David,
it's much safer for me to talk about current events.
before we start.
Okay.
Before we start.
Okay.
Let's jump the gun.
Yeah.
I've made myself very clear how I feel about the topic. But go ahead, Gata. Tell us a topic, story, or situation you want to talk about, buddy.
You already know.
No, go ahead. Tell the
You
people.
already know. where
I
we're going
know.
with this.
Go ahead.
Everyone in this room knows exactly we're going to be talking about aliens today.
God
okay?
damn.
It must be spoken
Arthur's favorite
about.
topic.
It really is.
I just don't care.
And we're going to really dive into.
You got 2 minutes before I lose interest.
So this is crazy. So we're missing the mark on this by the time this releases, probably 3-4 weeks on the hearings that they've seen in Congress. But it is absurd to me that right now, a hearing in front of the United States Congress and Senate, There is literal whistleblowers inside of our government saying that they have seen evidence of alien bodies, alien injuries caused by individuals and to individuals.
Oh.
And it's not... I'm not one of those guys that like believes every alien story there is out there, but I think statistically speaking, aliens exist. I think there's no way around it, just with the sheer amount of stars, planets, everywhere else. But it does. I just find it fascinating to think that they may have been here. That's a cool thing to talk about, and it's a cool thing to talk about the repercussions of how it would affect your daily life.
Kevin, he's talking to you.
Is he not?
He's talking to you.
I agree. The possible repercussions would be incredibly interesting.
Yes.
I don't know, with the way the world is right now, the way people act, I don't think just because the sheer number of stories come out, that's, there's some statistic that says at least one of them's got to be true. I think there's enough crazy people out there that,
True.
There could be shenanigans going on. So,
not even necessarily crazy. Not to jump in, but not even necessarily crazy, but opportunistic. There are people who,
sometimes people want attention. Sometimes they believe it.
Yeah,
sometimes, 100%. There's any number of reasons why things might come out the way they do.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to make sure that we also cover the pieces of shit that are just straight up lying.
And also, for full clarity here, I do not particularly think that aliens have visited Earth, but I do think it's a discussion worth.
Really?
Yeah.
Kevin, go ahead and finish, because I'm going to chime in on that later.
Yeah. So for me, regardless of whether or not it's true, what I find interesting is I like to watch how people react to it. Like some of the stories, it just blows my mind how we as a society react to it.
Yeah.
So if some of the stories were like, there's been reports of Air Force pilots, seeing things moving around. I'm like, not one of you have a picture? Not
right.
Apparently this happens a bunch of times a day. Like some commander somewhere isn't like, hey, there's something going on over here. My job is to protect our airspace, protect the country. I'm going to go figure it out. But they're going to be like, no. Like, why? Like, there just seems to me very simple, easy questions that would come to mind. Easy, like, this is what we would do to figure out for sure. But we never do that. We always just...
No, I'm saying, go ahead. Because I was like, to tack on that where, like, why not have a picture? Like, everyone has a fucking smartphone.
Yeah.
Like, thinking about that, too, is like, there's ways
It's one of the reasons, like, Bigfoot stories just kind of, like, went away. Because it was like, at this point, if you have a claim, like, show me a picture or shut up. Like, everyone has a phone. And so, to a large degree, it's the same thing with aliens. But now the only way to have a rational way of saying it's still true, they're still here. But the reason we don't see it is because everyone keeps it a secret, and the government actually knows about it. I'm like, not one person is willing to like show you a picture. Not one, like people can't keep secrets. People have 100%. Agendas. People have their own. I can't imagine
opportunistic moments.
Yeah, I can't imagine something that big where one person.
Because your name will be in history forever.
Yes.
If you were the one who established or confirmed that aliens were there, your name would be recorded in human history till the end of time.
Yeah, what's the value of hiding it at some point? Mentioning it to the world would be like, I don't know the national defense argument for keeping it a secret. Like, why would you keep it?
You can't defend against it. I think that's kind of the point, is that...
Oh, you're saying that the reason why they would keep it secret is because they know that we would be ill-equipped to be able to combat any kind of war of the world type shit or whatever the fuck.
They're ill-equipped. They're not even making that decision right. Like, they're not like, I'm doing this for you. I'm acting as a parent to you, the child, to make sure like you can't handle it, so I'm going to keep it secret from you. They're a child. Like the way things are being handled by bureaucrats, leaders, stuff like that. Like, I just don't see the people that are usually in these positions of power are so opportunistic, so ready to like get their name on the wall for something.
Yep.
If they had a piece of evidence, they'd be like, ooh, look at this is how I'm going to get my name out there.
Yeah. 100%.
And the fact that it hasn't kind of tells me more than anything else I've seen so far.
Yeah. But the ramifications of if it were to be true, just taking out everything, all the overwhelming reasons why it isn't, and they're probably not here. Like thinking about how it impacts the world and every individual living on it.
Still don't care. For people who don't look, there's obviously been some off the air conversations we've had about this. And I personally just don't give two shits for a fucks or five damns. I do believe that aliens have. There's no fucking way that this is the pinnacle of existence in the galaxies and all that stuff.
Not.
If this is it, we're fucked. But I just mathematically, I don't think it would make sense to believe that we're the only ones. But there's a joke. I've been making jokes with a friend, the other David, about there's only a couple of reasons why we don't directly know. One, we're a fucking petting zoo and they're just visiting and leaving. Two, it's like, well, basically like the people in the rich people in the sub. They just the ones that we caught were the ones who made their own subs. Yep. And just did RIP for not really. They're billionaires.
You got what you wish for there.
We're not doing that. That is not what we're doing today. Not yet. This is the first episode.
I am half of a drink deep, okay?
All right. What I'm saying is, I do believe that something else other than us exists. I would be stupid not to think that there is something above us. Don't care. That's it. That's how my stance is on it, because I'm not going to get hot again. Because it just got really frustrated again. Yes.
It's like the 7th time.
Every time. Because this is the 17th time I've had this conversation. At least 20th time between this podcast and the Full Frontal Nerdity and all the friends and everyone hitting me up. It's like an alien come and be like, hey, homie, what's up? And I'm like, hey, what's up? Do you want something to eat? And he's like, you're not surprised? I got a lot going on, man. Like,
you would just be like, you speak English?
You're like, I'm more shocked that you could communicate with me. Well, anal probing. What was that anal probing for?
Yeah. What was that about, you assholes?
He was like, it's a kink. I'm not here to kink shame. It's 2023. But consent is sexy.
Consent, bro.
Consent is sexy. Dude. So leave me the fuck alone. But it is what it is. I just think, like, there's so many random things going on in the world. Like, did you hear about the fucking sudden hurricanes in California that are coming up?
It's like, it's a Category 4.
Yeah. And they've been like, it's in 80 years they haven't been hit with a hurricane like this. It's so crazy that people are like, we constantly go through droughts, so our ground and our soil is not prepared for this kind of shit. So the water is going to run off and cause flooding and cause all this havoc and cause all this chaos. Two, we're not used to this, so there's no preparations. It's like in Florida, we're so used to it. Like Waffle House is more prepared in California right now.
We go to the liquor store.
Yeah, a Waffle House in East Orlando right now is more prepared than all of California for this hurricane. Like they have better protocols in place because we go through it.
Yeah.
But it's just been crazy ass random shit like that. Vermont, like a month ago, had an insane monsoon style downpour where 2 cities in Vermont were straight up flooded. Like water up to because they were not ready for this. They've never had that. It's just been random shit that's been going on in the news. So, like, when I hear, oh, yeah, aliens, I was like, the rest of the world's underwater, this crazy wildfires and all this stuff. All to that to say, been going through a lot lately. So,
just having a hard time, guys.
I'm just tired. But I do believe that they're real. If my honest opinion is that there is something, and technology would be great, all that would be cool. I just don't always think that the intentions would, one, be good, and two, that we would see direct impact because there's a bunch of gatekeepers ahead of us.
I think our reaction would be shit.
Yeah.
I think the way that humanity would react to the presence of aliens.
We don't even react well when someone dresses differently than us, let alone aliens. Like, really think of how many fucking random fights and issues we see in media every day because someone spoke Spanish or spoke a different language or wore a burqa or wore something because people didn't understand it.
Yep.
A lot of us are terrible.
Yeah.
So, yes, to your point, if a little green men were like, hey, man, we're homies, we might not wait long enough to find out they're homies. Or we might not handle it well, and we might come off like ass clowns, and they're like, yeah, we can't go back there.
That's the wrong fight to pick, man. If a species is capable of interplanetary travel,
could you imagine?
They ain't the ones, man.
Could you imagine there's a galactic, like, fucking federations? Like, should we bring in humans? And then they visit, and they come back and say, nah. Nope.
Bro,
no.
Mass Effect. I need Mass Effect.
We're such nerds. All right, so, Kevin, anything else on the aliens and random weather and random shit going on?
Not specifically. I just point out, like, be careful about getting caught up in the sensationalism of it. Like there's always things going on, and like you were mentioning, there's this going on and this is crazy. But part of it is like the way stuff gets reported now is everything needs to be at max level. Like, oh my god, things on fire.
Oh no, yeah.
And so to some degree, like you gotta recognize that you're only hearing things that made it to the top of the algorithm.
Oh, 100%. Yep. And obviously, there's news only sells if it's sensationalized. But I'm saying in general, what is it? We're one of the few generations that's gone through like 2 market crises, a pandemic, almost a war, like a bunch of terrorist attacks, like all this crazy shit. Like at some point, I'm just waiting for the next chapter.
So
in this.
like even that, I don't know. Like, do you think it was easier on your grandparents or you to go through your life? Like, do you think like going through World War II or the Vietnam War was more difficult than?
Everyone has a rough.
What's really impacted us from those like.
Everyone has a rough go at it, but I'm saying what I'm trying to get at is like, at this point, it feels almost not to be an ass, but it almost feels like what's next on the bingo card. Like
it does feel like life is getting more outlandish.
Yeah, it feels like there's just something's always one-upping itself. So I'm just kind of almost I'm not focused on it anymore. And I don't mean to oversimplify it, but I'm just like there's always something going that if I let myself focus on that, I can't focus on what I'm trying to do. So to me, I almost oversimplify by saying I just don't care. Like if I spend more thought than I need to on this until something's 100% proven and I see someone physically say this is a picture of an alien, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm the same way in a lot of things. Like I know there's other forces at work that are like making certain stories become viral.
Agreed.
And just because it's viral doesn't mean it's important, doesn't mean it actually has the impact that it says it does.
Agreed.
And so I think we're at a time now where everything we see and hear is amped up. It's running on the top of the hype train. And it legit, although it sounds like there's 20 things that are on fire right now, none of those are nearly as significant as, living through the Great Depression or living through World War II. Or like,
oh, yeah, I would never, ever think that World War II, World War I, what was the movie? Oppenheimer? Sorry.
Yeah, my point just ultimately being like, you actually might be far better off, but you're just in a world where you're getting shouted at that there's so much like crazy shit going on that your panic meter is like always ratcheted high. And because of that, you're always feeling like shit's worse, even though if you were to actually go around and just like live the world and turn all that noise off, it actually might be better.
Well, and I think that's where you might be misunderstanding me. I'm, because of it always up, I just ignore it all.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's probably a good way to respond to it. My point is like, you had listened to it and then turned it off.
Yeah.
Versus recognizing like, hey, I'm not even going to listen to it to begin with because I know what's driving it. What's driving it is I want to be top in ratings. I want to have a viral story. I want to be the next reporter that broke ground on this. Like instead of being like, hey, I'm genuinely concerned about you. Here's something you need to know. And that's the difference now is where you just have so many vectors of information coming at you where craziness is what grabs your attention. Don't be the person has 20 websites up with all the clickbait everywhere and be like, oh my God, stuff's crazy. Like, shut it all down.
Agreed.
Go about your life and actually concentrate on what's important. And you'll realize that, the world's actually not as bad if you do it that way.
100% agreed. But that's kind of where Gata was going to say something. But I keep calling Gata. David was going to say something. I apologize.
It's instinct.
It's instinct. At this point, it's really fucked up because I know him as Kevin. I've been calling him Ravik now for 2 months. Don't know why. But all that to say, my mind, like, you're right. There's a certain level of, I think we heard so much random, everything was pandemonium, everything was chaos, that about like, probably I would argue maybe 5 years ago, I just said, I don't care. Like, until something's like directly impacts me, I don't care. And it's become so overwhelmingly encompassing. Like, David used to work with me, and there would be moments at our job that he would be like, aren't you mad about this? Don't care. Like, are you mad?
Don't care about anything.
He's like,
so
but even simple,
funny.
even shit just in a regular day, I was like, I do not have the bandwidth to give 2 fucks about that right now until it touches me.
You're tapped out. Your give a shit meter has been overflowing.
Yeah, and it's my give a shit.
That's part of the strategy too, isn't it? Just like from a business side. I know we're about to chase a whole different animal there.
Oh yeah, we're going to a different conversation. So
like just constantly bombarding you with just news you may not want to hear, news you may want to hear. Like you just aren't able to focus on one thing, or because things are always trending in a negative direction.
Yeah.
That like the most recent thing is negative. It doesn't have time to make you angry anymore.
I remember we're going to end this one about the news and stuff because one last thing. It was a couple years ago, like there was an article and it literally ran on like a 6 o'clock news, how escalators could lead to your death. And I was like, what the fuck is, and I stared at that. I was like, there's a little old lady or there's an ignorant person that's like, we're going to have to take the stairs from now on because that's not, like they watched that. Someone sat there and watched that and really truly believed that. And I was like, I fucking hate this.
Not just someone somewhere, like a lot of people.
I understand.
Saw that shit.
Trying to give them benefit of the doubt.
You should have quit that a long time ago, homie.
All right.
You should have quit that a long time ago, homie.
All right, guys. So that was our first pour. It got a little off the rails because of an off the show conversation, but thanks for hanging out with us. Next up on our agenda is going to come up in the next couple of moments, so stay tuned in. You're going to take a quick water break. Hey guys, while you're listening to the show, I know that you guys want to join in a little bit with us and pouring something up. Here at the show, we ask that you guys drink responsibly and do the right thing. Don't drink and drive. Avoid Amazon one-click buying, and I promise you, you do not need to text your ex. But all jokes aside, do the right thing, don't be dumb, and be safe. Thanks, guys. All right, so everyone, we are back. Hopefully you guys stayed a little bit hydrated. Put in some electrolytes in your body, especially if you're trying to drink with us. And once again, please, during that break, tell me you did not text your ex. We want to make some good decisions here while we're drinking. So throughout the show, I will remind you to don't do anything stupid. Don't drink and drive. Don't text your ex. And don't one-click buy on Amazon because them shits add up. Drunk me does not necessarily align with sober me's budget. And that is part of the reason why we need sponsors. So next bottle up is Bombergers. Like I said, if you were tuning through the whole episode, I have no idea which order I said it would be, but Bomberger's Declaration is from the Michter's Distillery. For those who have never tried Michter's, really good bourbon. But Bomberger's Declaration Distillery Bourbon honors the legacy of the former distillery known as Bomberger's in the 1800s. And later as Michter's in the 20th century, they bought them, brought them back. So today's release is 108 proof. This is a 2003 bottle. This is actually stuff I've never heard of. I'm really excited, and I'm interested now that we've had that crazy malty flavor, what this is going to be like, because I feel like this is a lot more traditional. This is small batch.
Yeah, what's the batch size? 2977 on there?
Yeah, so this, only like less than 3,000 bottles were made. That's actually interesting. I did not think that little would be made. And when you think 3,000, I mean, I'm broke, so 3,000 is great, but for batch size for bottles, it's not that much. While you guys sip and talk about what you think, I'm going to look up how many bottles are in a barrel. Cheers, guys, to Bombergers.
Cheers.
Since I beat them back, whiskey normally holds... bourbon whiskey, I know, for all of you who've been listening who are mad that we haven't called it bourbon this whole time. Whiskey barrels normally hold 53 gallons of liquid, which depending on the size of the bottle equates to about 200 to 300 standard size 750 ml bottles.
Like 10 barrels? Maybe 12?
Yeah, about 10, 12 barrels. No, about 10 barrels.
Well, on the high end, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you also think about the angel share, which is for anyone who does not know, is the stuff that just evaporates. Naturally, it happens through the distilling process through heat and just natural occurrences. And there's the stuff that's called the devil share, which is just printed into the actual barrel itself. I'm probably getting that wrong. Please let me know in your 5-star review comments where I fucked that up. Appreciate you guys. Yeah. Kevin, thoughts?
I'm liking this one more than the Woodford Reserve.
Agreed.
Really?
Yeah.
Agree.
It's smooth, man. It is really nice. And
I like it.
It's a smoother front end, but I got a more prickly back end. That was my taste. Like the front of my tongue got a nice smooth entry.
We gotta. Yeah,
and then on the as it kind of got towards the back of the throat, it felt a little bit more more prickly. So your smooth entry turned prickly fast. All right. Yeah.
God damn it.
You guys do it to me.
I did. You were the one who spoke. No one said those statements. Did you tell him to say those things, Kevin?
I'm never responsible.
Okay. Yeah. No one is. Yeah.
It was your face, first of all.
All right. So to your point, what's interesting is you both feel that it's smoother. It is arguably much smoother, but I think it's because the Woodford had a really unique taste. This Bombergers is 108 proof, which is higher by a substantial amount than the Woodford Reserve.
Woodford was 90.4.
Yeah.
Another 5% more alcohol, essentially.
This is, for all intents and purposes, much hotter. No, man. It's almost 10% more alcohol. This is 54% alcohol by volume, the Bombergers.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So this will put some more hair on your chest or a fucking tingle on your tongue, as David says.
Wow.
Yeah, all the fucking online names. Follow us on Steam. Listen, I don't know. This is a good one, man. I'm not mad at it. It's just
I like this one.
it's gonna creep up. I'm certain.
What's the bottle cost on this?
That one's a $97 bottle.
I mean,
Really?
for what it is, that's not bad.
That's a $97 bottle, and it's hard as fuck to find. Secondary usually goes for like $300. Nothing outlandish, but it is a sought after bottle.
It sounds like a hipster's burger shop.
Yeah,
Bomb burgers.
yeah, where you can get a overpriced haircut.
Yeah.
But the bottle's worth this cost, man. It's not something I would be mad about. I'm not gonna fucking fork out $97 for a poker night or something. Maybe poker's once a month. Yeah, it won't be a Saturday night movie night bottle.
No.
It'll
That's
be
wine,
yeah.
first of all.
What?
You don't drink wine?
I do drink wine, but you don't. Wait, hold on.
For a movie, the
For a mo-
implication
wait,
there for a movie night is with the wife.
I want to discuss this.
Okay.
Movie night
Uh-huh.
with your wife.
Yes.
Your default is wine.
Yeah.
What kind? What do you
Whatever
drink?
kind
No,
she
what do you drink?
buys.
So you don't even have a say in the wine that comes
I
to the house?
don't care. It's wine.
Oh, I love you. You're a cheap date.
He's used
Listen,
to cold beer.
cold beer.
Like
Cold beer.
Cold beer.
Cold beer.
No, it's usually like Roscato or something. Like she likes sweet red.
I gotta talk to her. I gotta talk to your wife about some stuff.
No, bro.
Some stuff and things.
I can only buy what she wants.
For Christmas, I'm gonna hook you up. I swear to Christ.
We got 2 bottles of Roscato?
Maybe, maybe some rosé in there. What I'm saying is like this is it's worth the cost. It's worth something to share. Obviously, this is what we do, but it's just so much better than I expected a 108 proof to be.
100%.
Yeah.
108%.
Oh, he's funny.
108. What I really want to say about this one though is like if you sip on this as much as we just did with the Woodford, because I'm not gonna lie, I had a couple more pours. I'm not gonna feel my face. So we're gonna slow it down a little bit. And with that being said, Ravik, fuck it. At this point, Kevin Ravik, we have a question for you, man. So we talked about this a little bit, and it's just an interesting thing. Tell me about your sticks and stones will break my bones. Tell me about your favorite insult someone has ever told you and why.
Yeah, so I kind of resonated with this question because I definitely take pride in being slightly different, and when people like call me out on it, and people expect a reaction of, "Hey, I just called you something. You should act appropriately." And I'm just like, I take pride in what you just said. So,
Thank you.
And we love you for it.
That's not the response I expected. It's like,
so the actual story that generated this comment was in my book very mild. I think we might have started in the pre-show talking about my allure to comeuppance or vengeance.
For anyone who's not aware, I've never seen Batman and Kevin in the same room. So
It's true.
jury's still out.
That's true.
Go on.
Yeah, so this story, like I can go into plenty of stories that are in that vein of comeuppance or vengeance, but this one was probably one of my mildest, the one I'm quicker to share with others before some of the deeper ones. So this story just kind of revolves around driving, and I have a pet peeve with people driving. And namely, there's a lot of components to it, but I just feel like if you're doing your job, if you're driving, you're trying to get to a location and you're trying to be safe and
Try to be first.
That's a personal preference. I don't think everyone else has to try and be first.
Listen here, Vin Diesel.
Family.
But in general, I just think, we all share a road, and in order to be safe and considerate of others, there's certain things you should do.
Yeah.
And some of those things include like, hey, if you're not passing, get out of the left lane. And I'm to this day surprised by the number of people that have never heard of that, let alone don't follow it. I literally feel like 95% of people just...
Wait, you run into people who don't know that rule?
Yeah, they never heard the rule.
Yeah, it's weird. I've same thing. I've had that happen where they don't understand that
That's
concept.
shocking, especially here in Florida.
So it's kind of hard to be mad at them if they've never heard of the rule.
Okay.
Disagree.
You just like being mad, though.
It is a hobby of mine.
I will give people the benefit of the doubt. But, just in general, seeing people, doing certain behaviors on the road, tend to frustrate me. And my MO is if you're not doing something about it, you can't complain. So I eventually did this thing where I call it training people how to drive.
Oh God!
So I have
Wait, David, you've never heard this story?
No.
Oh, you're in for a fucking
This is a new
treat. Go.
Yes, I can't wait.
So this idea of people driving, there's lots of things. People being in, not getting out of the left lane, people not using blinkers. We have like 100-yard turning lanes, but people taking all 80 yards of it to actually get over and slowing down the entire time. So people who are actually trying to go straight have to slow down to like, a tenth of the speed that they should be going because the person just won't move over the extra 3 feet in order to actually get in the turning lane. There's all sorts of little things you can do to be courteous. And what everyone needs to remember to this is one of the things that everyone agrees on is that traffic is like a soul-sucking problem. Like, no one likes traffic. No one likes the commute. It just sucks. It eats up your time, and everyone hates it. It's an added stress to your day. It's taking away from time from being productive. It's taking time away from work, from family, from anything you want to do in life. It just is a flat-out bad thing for everyone. So we can all do better by being a little better about driving.
So what you're telling me is I shouldn't play Marvel Strike Force at red lights.
So you're one of those.
It's a red light.
Do you get it done in between the red light?
Yeah. If it's at a red light, I'm fine.
Then
It's
you're
fine.
Gucci, right?
So when driving, like, I happen to mention to a mutual friend of ours how someone was, in the left lane. And one of the things I noticed, like I've done this long enough where I know what's effective and what's not. And you start to get a profile of people. Some people are they're literally clocked out. They're driving, but their head is not into driving. They're thinking about something else.
Just a brief callback. So anyone who's, what you said was, I've done this enough. You mean teaching people a lesson at driving.
Yeah.
I want everyone who's listening to understand.
This is how he feels his commute.
Yeah, this is.
So I've reiterated on this method. Like, for a while, friends and family were like, I might have family members that have thrown rolls of pennies at people for severe things.
Wait, what? So you just
Giving you some background of where I'm coming from.
Wait. Someone keeps rolls of pennies for that purpose, or they happen to have them?
For that purpose, handfuls of change.
You said a roll of pennies.
Yeah, that's premeditated, homie.
You went to the bank and said, "I need 14 rolls of pennies."
Let's be clear.
Not
This
you.
isn't me. I never did this.
Not you. The family member went to the bank, said, "I need 14 rolls of pennies because I'm driving a lot this week." Was not for tolls. Was not for tolls.
I don't know how they procured the roll of pennies.
They rolled it themselves at their kitchen tables.
That makes more anger. That feels like you're angrier than you need to be.
It's like a soldier packing his ammunition.
Yeah.
They're just popping these pennies in his roll.
Bad podcast, but like I'm here make believe in pressing bullets.
So, we've had these conversations with how people drive, and like I see how other people have handled it. And typically they're just like, I'm mad, so therefore I'm going to be a dick to you. And so they'll do things like, when they finally get in front, they'll do things like brake checking, cutting off, things like that, which in my mind is A, unsafe, B, makes things worse, and C, usually doesn't ever teach a lesson, because inevitably the person just gets pissed that, hey, this is what you did, and they go home just pissed at you and thinking you're
the dick.
Yeah, you're just some shitty human that doesn't deserve to be on the road. It never actually gets the lesson across. So I never found that effective. So what I found most effective was to actually do to them what they're doing to you, but do it in such a way that they never know that that's what you're doing. And so, like, if they're driving in the left lane, going like 5, 10 under the limit, once you find a way to get around them, like, other people will just be like, finally, and they'll take off and they'll blow down the road. My point is like, you don't get to complain unless you do something about it. So I'm going to train them. And as much as I want to just go, I get over. I usually go like far up in front of them, get over, and then slowly let off the speed. And so they don't even register that I came around them and that now I'm in front of them. And then I slowly start backing off my speed. And then I get it to the point that I'm going just slightly slower than they are. And now I've learned to understand that a lot of these people, like one of the reasons they get in the left lane is they love the left lane. Like the moment I get in the left lane, it's easy. I never have anyone in front of me. And they consciously don't realize the reason no one's in front of them because everyone's behind them. They're going slow enough that no one will ever be in front of them.
Oh my God.
Fucking Ricky Bobby's over there.
If you're in first, you're last.
There's other
Great
things.
movie.
Like I think a good deal of people, you can do right on reds. Therefore, if you're going straight and someone's at an intersection in front of you and they're turning right, if you're in the right lane, they might get in front of you. And that's like that pulls you out of that where you can just kind of turn your brain off and just kind of just coast. All those people coming in and coming out, that's work for your brain to do. So if you just want to check out while you're driving, the easiest thing you can do in the world is go right to the left lane and then just turn your brain off and just coast, because that's where you'll get the least input, is being in the left lane.
True.
And so everyone who's ever behind them just gets annoyed with them, then blows by them. And because they're checked off, they never notice that. They don't know what they're doing. It's never dawned on them that they're driving poorly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be the one person that does. And so I get in the lane and I just start slowing down. And I've done this. I've literally been on like 417 going like 45 in a 60 or 70. And I've been doing that for like a good 5 to 8 minutes, which doesn't sound like a long length of time, but when you're driving, that's a long length of time. And the person, I can see them. I'm watching them in the rearview mirror, and all of a sudden they're like, I can just see their eyes just go like, They wake up and they're like, this is annoying. And they go to the right lane and they go to pass. I'm like, see, that's what we all had to deal with. That's what 200 of us have dealt with the last 10 minutes when you weren't paying attention. But no one cared.
Yeah.
You didn't care. So now you felt that pain. And so the next thing, like, well, there's another part of this training.
The amount of time you spend to inflict a half second of inconvenience onto this person.
How late are you to work on a regular
I will
basis?
gladly be late to places. I've actually...
This dude has an unmatched level of pettiness.
I've gone past my home and gone past my work. Like, wherever I'm driving, I've gone past it in order to finish training someone, and then I've turned around and go back.
That's commitment, ladies and gentlemen.
Two things. One, that was the insult that he got. What was the insult?
So, well, let me finish. I'll get to the insult.
Yeah.
So I'm explaining this story, and I'm like, how, I'll slow down, and all of a sudden I'll see that person register.
Pass my home. Like,
and they'll go to the right lane, and they'll go to move. And one of the things you can't do, and you'll have this instinct, is you can't just take off. Now that they finally got over the right lane, you can't take off. Because the moment you take off, they realize, oh, you were messing with me. You can't let them know you were messing with them. They have to think that they were another version of you, that that was someone who was just clocked out, not paying attention in the left lane.
because it won't resonate.
Yeah, because the moment they realize you're doing it on purpose, they're going to get pissed, and that's what they'll concentrate on. Not like, oh, this is a pain in the ass to have to drive behind someone who's not paying attention and is driving too slow in the left lane. You need them to feel the pain that you feel. That's when problems get fixed. And so that's, essentially what I've done to people. And normally when they get over the right lane, like I'll like slowly start speeding up and just do it so that they realize that I'm not doing it on purpose. But if they jump back in the left lane, here we go again. I got to reteach the lesson. And I've done this, like I've done 4-hour trips to like Miami.
What?
I've spent like a good hour, doing this to one person, like just training them. And I'll see like the hardest part by far for me.
Not the 4-hour drive of doing it?
No.
Okay.
The hardest part for me is, I'll be behind this guy and there might be a good 20, 30 minutes. Hundreds of cars are just annoyed about having to get around this one guy in the far left lane.
You at this point.
No, well, when it becomes me, also I have other cars going by thinking I'm the problem.
True.
And I'm like, honk at me. I understand. You have every right to. But if I wasn't here, the guy behind me would be doing the same exact thing. And the sooner I get him off the road, the better. The sooner I teach him. And so anyways, I was explaining.
Which one is it? You hoping he never drives again, or you hoping he's a better driver?
I just want him to learn. And so I was explaining to him, our mutual friend, that legit, like I can leave my house at certain times of the day to go to work, and I can predict how much time it's going to take.
Yeah.
And there's been times where like either my home's changed or my work location has changed such that my commute has changed. And traditionally, like if I leave at a certain time and it takes 40 minutes to get to work, after about 2 months, I get it down to 30 minutes. And then after about another 2 months, I'll get it down to like 25 minutes, which is almost what it takes, like if I were to go in on a weekend, like where there's no traffic. And so what I found out is usually if you leave at the same time, you run across the same drivers every single time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I started to recognize, I'm like,
I've waved at people.
there's that car. I know he's going to be a problem. And so when I start training people, I end up having to train, it'll be the same person every once in a while. And I was telling them about, there was this, one white Prius that like every
Fucking
day
Prius.
on the commute would be in the left lane.
I was really
just
angry.
would be super slow,
Yeah.
not paying attention. And so I started doing it to them. I started training them. And then after about a month or two, this person would I'd either find them in the right lane, or as soon as I came up on them, they immediately got in the right lane. And I'm like, this is all we wanted. This was the solution all along. So I effectively reduced my commute I took 20 minutes off my commute every day by training someone. And
probably for everyone else too.
yes, everyone else. And so in my world, I made the world a better place.
And I want you to know that you sounded like Jigsaw the whole fucking time. I want you to know that.
So I'm explaining this to our mutual friend, and at the end of the story, I'm like, I feel vindicated. I'm like, I'm happy at what I did.
You're like, aren't you guys
looks at
proud of me?
and he just kind of like looks away, and he's like, man, that's petty as hell, and just walks away. And I was just like,
That is so
okay,
fucking
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. You're like, he meant it like an insult. You're like, yeah, you're right. It's fine.
I'm
Dude,
like,
I feel like I'm about to ruin your life right here. Like, there's already a built-in function in your car to fix that, right?
the horn.
If you look in the center of your steering wheel, you'll see a logo of your car.
Yeah.
If you just press that, people usually get the hell out of the way.
Yep.
Usually, it helps a lot.
But it doesn't.
But it's a momentary thing.
Does
They'll
it-
just get pissed at you. And they'll keep driving the way they
I
drive.
drive a BMW. People are about to fault pissed at me. Okay.
Well, it's because of the Georgia thing, but that's besides the point.
They don't even take time to see that. They just see the
And the cold bears,
cold bear. I
Cold
got
bear.
my cup holder.
As long as you're not throwing pennies at the rolls.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
I feel like we didn't spend enough time talking about the fact that this person went to the bank, decided this is my vengeance now, and not that pennies are a lot.
Sometimes it's a handful of change. Sometimes it's.
You said
other
rolls
things.
of pennies.
Yeah,
Were
that
there
happened one time.
there was a roll of pennies at least one time?
At least one time.
That is a concern because who rolled those pennies?
I'm not arguing with you.
I really.
You don't have like a little like change drawer.
I don't have it rolled. I go to Coinstar and take the L. I take the fee. I'm not rolling quarters. Look, I know someone's listening and she rolls pennies and quarters. I adore you, but I will never fucking do that.
It's a lot of effort for rolling pennies by default. It's 50 cents for a roll.
But
Like, all that effort to get
what
two
I'm getting,
quarters
what I can't shake is that thought. That person, I keep imagining they're at a fucking workbench, like a fucking husky workbench in the dark with fucking one spotlight on them and they're just popping pennies. Thinking about like that fucking Saturn. I swear to God, that car tomorrow's going to get it. Like
That fucking Saturn.
that fucking Saturn.
That's too specific to not be related to
Shut
something.
up.
I
What
mentioned that
Saturn
because
pissed you off?
that's the extreme version of if you just get pissed off, then it's just a road rage incident, and no one learns from that. Everyone just
Yeah.
goes home and they're pissed, and they never even dawn on them to drive differently.
Fuck.
But if you, in my estimation, like most people, like they aren't aware of the problem they're creating. The only way you're ever going to make them aware is if they feel the pain you feel. So they have to come up on someone who's slower than they are and in the left lane and blocking that. And they need to stay in their mind like, what are you doing in the left lane? Get out of the way. And then they're like, I can't say that against someone if I'm doing that. And so that
you're
internal
assuming a
register-
lot of that person.
Can you install one of those PA systems that the cops have into your car?
Oh,
He's joked
I've
about that.
fantasized
Don't
about
start that.
all
Please
sorts-
do that.
The number of fantasies I used to have a truck.
Not-
I wanted one of
This
those
is-
speaker systems that raised up out of the bed and just literally blew their windows out. Like,
Move out of the left lane.
Ma'am, you're driving way too slow. All right, guys. So that's a fantastic insult to be proud of. But not going to lie to you. We drank a lot during this. So we're going to do a second of the bomb burgers before I tell you.
I like bomb burgers.
Bomb burgers is not bad, man. I'm not mad at it. Oh, that was way heavier than I meant to. All right, everyone. So thanks for tuning in so far for our first episode of Bourbon and Bullshit. As you can tell, we were winding up a little bit towards the tail end of Pour 2. But I'm not going to overwhelm you with all that awesomeness. Stay tuned. In the next couple of weeks, you will get the rest of Episode 1, Part 2. In between, you'll see a little bit of some happy hour episodes and little teasers and some outtakes. So this is going to be part of the little process. You're going to be getting episodes released twice a month with some little bit of content in between. Hopefully you guys will tune back in the next couple of weeks and check out the rest of the show. And as always, here from Bourbon and Bullshit, we ask that you drink responsibly and don't text your ex. Thanks, guys. Bye.